Started raining downtown. They getting off a little early. They're supposed to be off at 4. They leaving now. Look at them clouds.
Okay, that's fine. We'll bring a lethal shotgun. We'll bring a 40.
All right, they bringing in some equipment to shoot the dude. Non-lethal. Better come out.
Just so you know, we're just formally a plan for a contact team. We'll be moving up relatively shortly.
Yep, Skid Row, one of them. Sacramento has a whole bunch of them.
Exit 59, non-Inwood Hall, District 59, 7051, Mr. Drive, engine 59, operations A3.
Let's go see if there's any 304s on WAC. Everybody put the numbers 304 in the chat. Let's go see if there's any 304s working.
Good. 1 millimeter. Were there any officers trying to get in contact with Brian Kinney a few minutes ago? No, 25 I was. Just make sure that I worked on.
I guess only one person wants to see him. Everybody else, close your eyes.
Engine 55, 971, Manipulate, District 72, 10501, Artifact Court, Engine 77, Medic 71, Operation Mode 3. One with the 6 over 601 Sunny Slope at A1 Market. And you just go for himself back up again. Well, for 415 weapons, 953 North Avenue 2A, there's a large crowd outside of about 10 to 12 people in a 415, and 3 of them have baseball bats. This group of mostly female Hispanic adults and female black 20s. There's a few male Hispanic adults and male black adults as well. 415 weapons, 953 North Avenue 2A. Sent you a copy. Sent you a copy. They're still set up.
Isn't that where that shooting was the other day? Isn't that where that shooting was on North Avenue? What was the address?
SMB boy on 9 Paul George Roberts.
Is that like North and Winters? (953) North. Somebody look at that. Tell me is that North and Winters?
On the CRV, first plate 9, Tom King.
Ooh, that wind is picking up.
It's a great tank top, black shorts, Hispanic, black hair, mustache. Hey, everybody. Sam, Adam, Robert, Mary, Ida, Edward, Noah, Tom, Ocean, Joseph Taylor, Charles, Adam, Mary, Edward, Robert, Ocean, Noah, David is 129 of 80. Male or female? Yeah. Information only at this time for all units. Even this is just a data extended by the most subject on RME 233. Was changed to outbound now test 16th Street that was smoking. Information only at this time for all units. Report received.
Near a branch? Oh, yeah, that's not the same. That's nowhere near it. Appreciate you.
Oh, that's good. Okay. You're clear around the next corner. You'll see a red product sticking out. That is, what's the, even further than that last gray one. You see there's two gray ones, two red ones, two gray ones. If you get to that last gray one, you might be able to see some of the tree, but it's the largest tree that the red one, the last red one is pointing at.
Your case number is going to be 2301-2301.
Oh, thank you.
Units look like each one of them were responding to a person gun photo of a way. Looks like the vehicle, they have the vehicle now pulled over between Armory and Goodwill.
Already have any movement? I need to get a different angle. Still appears to be high.
They still searching for that guy in the south area.
Go ahead. Okay, this is looking like a picture of a family. There's no 242 and no one's hit with any weapon or bats or anything. Check.
Medic 7, Engine 7, Medic 08, District 753, Omaha Court, Medic 7, Engine 7, Operations D3. Engine 39, Operations A2. Truck 6, Medic 4, Medic 8, District 6, 2360, Stockton Boulevard, Truck 6, Medic 4, Operation B3.
No, flash up there. Network. Anybody responding code 3, reduce. Still no response. We're going to introduce a couple more.
They shooting over at him with the pepper balls. We're not done, folks, so don't get it twisted. We're just going to go park over here and do some computer work, waiting on a call.
They resumed. Yeah, that's very inclusive. Network. You resume 1606 hours. We'll be at 24924 sharp PM. Network.
And then Mazda CX-5 red color ETA 2 minutes. He's turning into the date. There's my copy. Medical 8, District 39, 115, TA number 232.
Shasta, what is that? Santina, welcome in. Welcome in.
District 1, 415 customer Penny at Popeyes on board. Can you close 131 assistant? Ever.
Popeyes on Watt, 415. We're right down the street from there. We're going to go to that. We ain't too far from Popeyes.
Time on at 227 Jaboom Street. The caller is room 132 with their caseworker. The suspect's in room 142. Suspect is the child's father. He pushed her down to the ground. Carson Blankenship, no black 23, 59 years old, gray Nike sweater, hot pants. Again, the caller's in 132. Suspect is 142.
Is she saying she got one of the hers that put up for 205 or that question? She said that handle was like at her had some trouble. She got all the number. 10739. Sorry, try not to. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like coming across to this, so you guys leave it. I can't see him in that tree any longer. I think he just digging a little harder. You guys would have seen him when he went out all directions. They're close to the air defense. Navigate 16 Bravo, category code 2, District 11, 632, Killering Road, Navigate 16 Bravo, Operations D3. Leave your part. We still can't see into him. Do you want us to move a team up, or do you want us to back out and treat it as American? Let's send the dog, see if you can find him.
Send the dog.
Copy that.
Send the dog.
Hey, Lieutenant, sounds like he's probably up in the tree. You want to send the dog in and see if he alerts? Okay. Copy. Guys, do you want the original contact you to back off and give your dog some space?
Diesel 520 for an abandoned vehicle, 8529 Belton Crossway in B3. It's gonna be a white Dodge Ram parked at Magnolia Hill. The last one is.
All right, here's Popeye's chicken right here. I don't see nothing going on. Bull. There could be one. It could be. We could be at the wrong one, but we're gonna sit here for a minute.
Go ahead.
Empire Ranch and Broadstone Parkway. 28 is 9, Victor, Queen Robert, 532. It's on a Porsche. Number 27, we're ready. Sorry.
Go ahead.
710 on that.
Speedplane or Kia. It's registered to LED. Number 118 and
Right, I got to change the battery in the scanner. It just went out. The battery in the scanner just went out. That means we've been on for a long time. Who you asking, George? Yeah, there's a guy that was in a stolen car, led him on a pursuit, and they're trying to find him in Southside. So you're asking Mo? I figured as much. You ain't gonna ask me.
we'll call back. We're no longer on the line.
Hey, Don, thank you for subscribing.
Lena called back and said the juveniles walked out. They're now in the parking lot in a gray Toyota SUV. Exit towards 4th near Reading. They're going northbound, she said. Traffic. One, Medical District 28.
You say this is the worst Popeyes you ever seen? That Tiger Wood wants to go to rehab. Okay. Hello. Oh, I'm streaming right now. What you doing? Huh? It don't matter. Just whoever's gonna host it for you. Yeah. It don't matter because you only gonna have one website, so it ain't gonna make a difference. Just don't go GoDaddy. Go like Namecheap or something or HostGator. Bye. You said you're next to me. Are you in a black car? That might be in a dead zone. Because I ain't getting nothing on the scanner.
What?
Yeah, as soon as I put the big antenna in, there we go.
I'm stuck in the traffic from the 911 trying to see if I need help from that real quick.
31 uses the 12 with 3 unit with the ended.
Get the cars out of the street.
Yeah, I like the Parmesan cheese on my asparagus as well.
26, David, we're okay. Push up that call.
10-4. On A 5895 47th Avenue, it's Pet Boys. The 2 people 901, they're requesting medical for precaution. It's going to be a white Honda Accord and a black Mazda sedan. D Bravo, Operations D3. How? Out of San Jose. One auto bike accident, District 26, 4400, Sandwick Drive, Engine 26, Medic 641, Operations A2. Engine 46, vehicle accident, District 46, Carolyn Boulevard and Lake Canyon Avenue, Engine 46, Operations A3.
George for 2, can you actually start a owner's request? Day 1.
10, 5350, Standish Road, Engine 10, Operations D3. Truck 10, vehicle accident, District 10.
You're probably right about that.
9895, 47th Avenue, Truck 10, Operations D3.
No, for thank you.
Over to, as advising of their COA in Boston.
Number 10,
With Weston, also.
West Boston.
Also check inside Sam's Club just in case you went there for a bite to eat. Today for dispatch 97.
Heavy. Engine 14, vehicle accident, District 14, North 16th Street and A Street, Engine 14, Operations D3. Has a similar subject description.
Okay, go be bro.
Copy. .3800, Florin Road, Engine 57, Medicaid 53, Operations D3. Operations D3.
No, I'm scrolling TikTok.
$33, 7. I believe you put a clothing description out for our subject. Do we have a race? I don't see it on the call. Victor Henry, motion was all right.
District 16, 6800, Woodbine Avenue number 17, Engine 16, Operations D3. Two, Engine 23, Medicaid 23, Operations A2. Never. 710, Carnation Avenue, Engine 12, Operations D3. CSO3. CSO3. me on a parking violation at Douglas and Lighthouse. Copy.
Good. 15:37 and 10 seconds. I have a large white van turn on too on the river from Greenback. They were going west, correction, east on Greenback initially. That may be a rough time frame. Just like it's, gonna do that. So you can hear it for the H&R Black Eyes. Is it correct? Coming. Or is that close as well?
Detention, please.
Engine 14 those.
Copy.
Sounds very copy, just COVs.
Answer check.
All right, folks, we about to get up off of here. Everybody say your goodbyes.
We're okay. Copy. Go ahead. It's returning right now on file. Copy, Sam. I'll get them in. Copy.
Matt from 2 Feet Outdoors, a YouTube channel. The link will be in the description, and the video comes courtesy of Garden State Accountability, who was also there. I was in the courtroom as well. I watched this entire case, and I thought it was very interesting, so I wanted to share it with each and every one of you. And who better to share it with, to watch it with than the actual attorney, the criminal defense attorney that was there. So I'm sure you'll have some insights into it. But before we get right into it, I just wanted to show you guys, while Jacob's here, why not? I do have on Long Island Audit store for the next 48 hours. I'm going only the next 48 hours, 50% off everything. So everything on my website, you don't have to enter in a code or anything like that. Long Island Audit store. You can get the Resist Tyranny t-shirt. You can get the new mayor shirt right here. Look at this one. I love this one. This one's great. Stop robbing Peter to pay Paul. Space Coast Habitat for Corruption, $1 gazillion. Satire, political commentary. Lawyers got a lot of advice from lawyers to make sure that it's satire, but everything's 50% off. I appreciate your support. Thank you guys so much. Jacob, let's get right into it. Let's watch the video. I'm sure you're gonna have a lot of thoughts on this one, but let's see what happens. Again, just to give somebody some backstory, let's give the backstory really quick. 2 Feet Outdoors, he's an exploration channel. He goes canoeing and he explores different, areas of the world. 2 Feet Outdoors. And he was exploring this abandoned yacht in New Jersey. And the owner of the yacht, who happens to be an attorney, pressed charges against him for trespassing. And he knew about Jacob from my videos, and he hired Jacob to do the case, and I was there to support him, and this is how it went. Let's see. Let me know your thoughts.
Matter concerning property that is on the South River. There is a video which both sides have agreed that will be presented.
Okay, it is 1.7% speed, so just because I cut it down from a 3.5 hour trial to like an hour trial, and then put in 1.7 speed, so just so we know.
In a few minutes after the complainant gives some foundational testimony.
So I'm not going to belabor, but I think the evidence very clearly show is that the conduct and the facts and circumstances here simply do not amount to violation of either the, two municipal ordinances nor the criminal justice code violation.
Request the complainant be sworn in.
Kirsten Kortbawi, K-E-R-S-T-E-N, Kortbawi, K-O-R, T as in Tom, B as in boy, A-W-I.
I just want to say really quickly, I don't want to interrupt too much because this is a very interesting trial, but Kristen Kortbawi, that is the individual that you're looking at on the screen right there. She is an attorney, I believe a business attorney in the state of New Jersey, and she didn't want to make a deal, right, Jacob? There was no negotiation with her. She wanted her day in court. She wanted to go to trial, right?
Yeah, that's what I was told.
Yeah, so there was no there was no a settlement or anything like that. It was just she wanted her day in court, and she got it.
Yes, Your Honor. My name is Kirsten Kortbawi, the complainant. I own the property upon which the defendant trespassed, which is located.
She's making legal conclusions. She's not describing. She's testifying as her conclusion as trespass.
Oh, no, she's just making a statement as to who she is.
That's correct. It's go on.
Thank you. The street address is located at 222 Journey Mill Road in Sayreville, New Jersey.
Okay. Do you have authority to file the complaint in this matter?
I do. I own the property through an LLC, Viking Terminal Holdings LLC.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what was it?
Viking Terminal Holdings LLC.
You are the sole owner of the LLC?
At the time that I filed the complaint and at the time of the trespassing, yes, I was the sole owner.
You are stating that there has been a trespass. How do you know that there's been a trespass?
I have observed a video that was posted to YouTube by the defendant, which depicts him boarding my private dock, entering my property, and boarding a boat that my family owns. It's on a creek in the property.
Is the man sitting to the next of the defense counsel the man that you're accusing of trespass?
Yes, he appears to be the same man that's in the video.
I know the record reflects that the identification has been made.
Judge, I would note that this is not actual identification because it's not based on anything she observed. There's different standards for. She's basically saying, well, who I saw in the video is the same person here, but she's not able to actually identify anybody she saw in real life. And I think that she's not going to qualify to make that identification. The video will speak for itself.
You denied her request. I think she saw the video. She's been able to observe it. She's been able to see the client came in court. She's making an observation of the same person that she saw in the video is here. So I don't allow that.
How did you find out about this video?
So the property is a commercial property that we rent out to various tenants, and one of our tenants informed my husband and I about the existence of the video that was posted on YouTube.
Did you watch the video on YouTube?
I did.
Okay. So then before we go any further, Your Honor, with the consent of the defense, I present to the State Exhibit 1 a flash drive of the video.
So I am not going, if you want to go to 2 Feet Outdoors and his YouTube channel and watch the entire video, you can do so, or Garden State Accountability for the full courtroom experience.
Yeah, but highlight a couple things. Even if we don't play the whole video, do you mind if I just kind of highlight a few things?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. So one of the things was that when you watch the video kind of on the left, when he's coming up to her property, you can see a little yellow sign that's really faded and you can't really read it. You can't read it all. And if you could make anything out, it would have said no wake.
Let me. Yeah, it's important. While you talk about it, I'll bring it up.
Yeah. Actually, you can see right there.
Yeah, this is the. Let me zoom in. This is what the image from his YouTube video.
Right now it says I've seen the close up of the sign, and I'm
going to show the close up. But okay. I wanted everybody to see this is how you can see it from the YouTube video itself, and then there's an enhanced close up here that we'll take a look at. Oh.
Well, I just really want to be clear. That photo is not from the original video.
Okay.
He went back at my request to take photos. The original video, he goes right past it, doesn't pay it any note, isn't head on to it like in that photo. That photo was just so we could read what the sign said. But
that's the video. Back. Okay, yes, that's my fault. Yes, you said you sent him back over there to go.
Yeah, well, I just want people to realize that because if they just saw him face to face that sign, they might think, okay, well, he was staring right at it, you know.
Right. No, I got you. That was from a different day. I got you. And then this is what it said. This is how the actual sign looked. So when they're referencing the sign, when Jacob's referencing the sign with the complainant or etc., or they're showing it to this is the actual sign that was there. But this is not from the original video. This is when he sent him back. Just so we're all clear. Very bright sign, right? And we'll get into the colors of the sign soon. Do you have anything else to say, Jacob, before we get back into it?
Just want to, some things that are cut out in the video. Is the condition of the boat. I mean, and I really encourage you to see that the boat was, basically like a brick in the water, and it's been there for a very long time.
I'm pretty sure I can get it from Google Earth. Abandoned,
No, I meant like the inside and how it looked.
Oh yeah. It was absolutely horrible condition, for sure. I'm trying to see if I can bring this up. I just didn't want to show the entire.
Well, I wouldn't either. Trust me.
It was a very long.
No. I thought the two important things, were that he kind of goes right by this needle sign.
This is the news articles. YouTuber who explored abandoned yacht in Sayreville. You could see this is the yacht right here. If you guys could see the picture of the yacht, this is it. It's a dilapidated, abandoned yacht in a creek off of the South River. Just so there. I think that gives enough context.
You look at evidence? Objection?
No objection.
Please, Your Honor.
Just want to look at evidence.
I show you a picture for identification. Can you tell me what this is?
Yes, this is an aerial photo of my property, and it has a black outline delineating the property line.
Defense counsel has seen this.
I am going to consent a very brief vote on that.
Please.
So the property line, did you draw that, or was that, who drew the line on that image?
This image is captioned as a site features map from a remedial action report prepared by Arcadis. And as I understand, Arcadis drew the property line map, and it's consistent with the Sayreville tax map.
Okay, no objection.
Just to, the area photo of the property needs to be submitted to evidence in question.
The defense and the prosecution have copies of this. Just briefly to orientate ourselves. On this S2, can you point out where is the boat?
Certainly. Looking at the black line that demarcates the property line, the boat is located in the creek, which comes off the South River in the lower right-hand corner of the property. You can see a long white object, and that depicts this boat.
Okay. Is the South River Boat Club indicated on this photograph?
So it is visible. If you look on the left-hand side in the middle, you can see docks that protrude into the South River and a white outline, which is consistent with my understanding of the South River Boat Club.
After you saw this video, what did you do?
I watched it a couple times, and I made notes of various statements and actions by Mr. Dolitsky in the video, and I made efforts to determine when the video would have been taken based on when it was posted on YouTube, and some other features that were indicated in the video, and then I proceeded to obtain a police report about the trespassing.
Okay.
Sean, I can't hear you.
I just wanted to give them a view of what she was describing. This is the yacht in the creek, abandoned older yacht. Just wanted to show that. My apologies, I was on mute.
Is Mr. Dolitzky licensed or privileged to go upon this property?
Absolutely not.
The property is not open to the public.
Correct. It is private property and has been so since my parents bought it in the 1970s.
Okay. From what you've seen, did he enter onto the property?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any notice against trespassing on the property?
Well, along the river, there is a sign that says no wake, no trespassing. It's located on the bulkhead adjacent to the private dock that Mr. Dolitzky entered the property from. Along the street at the main gate, there is an 8 by 10 foot sign with 21-inch letters that says no trespassing. And there are numerous other no trespassing signs around the periphery and inside the property as well.
Objection. She's saying there's numerous other signs inside the property. There's no discovery on that. There's no, we did request, and whatever signs are inside the property aren't really relevant to signs outside the property when he's accused of entering the property. So, she's talking about multiple signs, and that's very vague.
Okay. In the video, does he pass the sign that you have referred to?
Yes, so he passes the no trespassing sign at 4 minutes and 24 seconds into the video. He passes it on his kayak, and I just noticed it in his closing shot. You can also see the no trespassing sign behind him as he kayaks back towards the South River Boat Club from my dock.
Okay. What color is the sign?
It's yellow with black letters.
And again, he had no permission to go aboard to be on your property?
Absolutely not. And I'd also like to add about the sign that I just spoke about.
Objection, not responsive.
It's been there for 30 years, and it's
You're going to hear the judge ask questions that, to me, came across sort of more the job of the prosecutor, right? There were questions that seemed designed to make out elements of the case for the prosecutor. Sorry, Sean, I can't hear you.
My bad. Thanks for letting me know. But so when you said objection non-responsive, just for people who don't know, what does that mean? What does non-responsive mean?
I mean, she didn't answer the question. She used the opportunity to speak instead of actually answering what the question was.
So basically, she was just like, making up or saying whatever she wanted, but ignoring the question. Got it.
Right. So the way it has to work is question, answer. And part of being a trial lawyer is not letting a witness, unless you want that witness to do it, but not letting a witness go off and fill in whatever gaps they want to, right? It's the prosecutor's job to ask the question and her job to answer it, not to editorialize or get into something beyond what the question was.
Gotcha. Thanks, Billy the Kidster. Appreciate you, brother.
For 30 years.
Objection, Judge. She's talking about how the signs work. That's not relevant to the question at hand in this case. She's basically editorializing. She's not testifying anymore.
It's not insufficient, but it don't have sufficiency, what she's talking about. Go ahead.
Do you have any other, does this sign that is sitting up there, does it work?
It does. And I'm only aware of one other instance of someone trying to enter our property from the waterway. It would have happened in the 1990s when another person tried to board the boat when it was docked on the dock. And my parents filed trespassing charges in that.
Objection.
We'll split there. I mean, that's going too far.
Just regard to it, but it's not going to probably, just not going to.
Okay.
So that's the objections are relevant.
Is there anything to add?
I mean, I can add into the exclusive video, so it's on record. Just for your sake. They have the kayak and it's clear. It's just clear. Everything about it.
In the video, is there anything in there that states that he had that he knew that he did not belong on the property?
Yes, there are many instances during the video and many comments from Mr. Dolitzky which indicate that he was aware that he did not have license or permission to be on the property.
Judge, she's basically giving her opinion on what he said in the video. So I would object to that because it's not.
Is the objection speculation?
Right. So she's basically right.
I'm trying to become an attorney, everybody. Well, at least not like a real one, but I'm trying to learn. Go ahead.
So she's giving her opinion on his subjective state of mind, right? Which she really shouldn't be doing. Because
speculating, right? I mean, am I wrong?
She's speculating, but specifically, there's certain speculation that you should never speculate as a witness, and lawyers should always object to that. But when you're speculating to someone's state of mind, it's really damaging because you're basically getting testimony in there about what she thinks his state of mind was, and she has absolutely no basis to get into his head, right? Some speculation, one could argue, is more of a reasonable inference, but you really can't talk about what's going on in someone else's head, right? She can testify to what she heard his words were, but not her opinion on what he meant by them.
Which I don't really understand because, like, you know, I the way I would see it if I was the prosecutor, or I feel like it's a big waste of time. It's like the video speaks for itself, right? I mean, they watched the whole entire video. I don't know. I guess
I kind of made that point.
Like, point things out like that were in the video to the judge, or
what?
Like, is asking her about things that we literally just watched in the video like a way to point things out to the judge? Like, I thought you could do that in like closing, but
no. So it is a strategy that we all use when you put in a video through a witness. Ask specific questions about what was on the video, and the reason for that is, again, exactly like you said, to point things out, to highlight things.
Okay.
Really fair for her to characterize the video. The video speaks for itself. So and it's not really responsive to the question.
It's a statement as to bring onto the record, showing his intent as to what he was doing at the time. Yes, the video does speak for itself, but it's also to present to the court to show the various spots in the video, which I'm going to make reference to anyway in my closing, as to what his intent was.
His closing is his closing. She should have the opportunity to start talking about his subjective intent based on comments that, and I think we can all agree, don't actually say anything, right? These are her arguments that she's making. She's not qualified to make those arguments as a witness.
It's not subjective. It's objective. It's on the video.
In her testimony, you have the ability to go through cross-examination. She's not giving an opinion. She's telling you where she observed that there are some things that he did or stated that she wishes to point out in the video. That's what it's doing. I'm not taking you as an opinion, but you have an opportunity to cross-examine her. She made an observation as to certain conduct or certain statements he made, and she wishes to bring those out. There's nothing objectionable about that. Go ahead.
Continue.
Thank you.
He 100% is taking her opinion into account, but okay.
So at 10 minutes and 21 seconds, Mr. Dolitsky is walking through the trees, and he made a comment, quote, "I don't like how noisy the leaves are," end quote. At 11 minutes and 5 seconds, he stated, quote, "I need to go back and secure my kayak. I don't want somebody to come to the dock and see it there," end quote. At 20 minutes and 7 seconds, he stated, "I just saw a truck on the adjacent property, so I'm just ducking down. I'm sure nobody has a clue I'm over here," end quote. At 20 minutes and 44 seconds, he said, quote, "Shit, there is that truck again," and ducks down, end quote. And during this time, you can hear a reverse warning sensor from one of the trucks on the property. At 27 minutes and 12 seconds, he states, quote, "I think I forgot to mention it, but I did go back and secure my kayak better, so it wasn't just sitting on the dock," end quote. At 27 minutes and 30 seconds, he stated, quote, "I actually kind of hit it, so if somebody came in that area, they wouldn't find it," end quote. At 30 minutes and 30 seconds, he states, quote, "I'm back to the dock. I think we're in the clear," end quote. And at 30 minutes and 47 seconds, he states, quote, that he was, quote, "getting my kayak from the hiding spot," end quote.
All right, table rest.
Question for you, Jacob. When I was testifying in the mayor's hearing, I couldn't have any sort of paperwork in front of me. How come she gets to read off of a paper while she's testifying? Like, as she's saying these times with what he said, quotes of what he said, and she's reading it off of a paper. But when I was testifying at the Melbourne mayor,
I'll tell you the truth. I didn't see that, and that's actually kind of disturbing. One of the problems with the courtroom is I can't see the witness, right? I'm looking straight ahead. Normally in a courtroom, the witness is seated next to the judge, where I can see the witness and the judge at the same time. So that's actually the first time I even realized she was reading off the paper.
Yeah, she was reading off the paper.
No, she shouldn't do that. If I had seen that, I would have objected. But from my vantage point, with the prosecutor in between me and her,
right? I just thought that was interesting because I asked the judge in my case in the evidentiary hearing with the mayor for the defamation case.
What you're allowed to do is refresh your recollection from a document, but you're not allowed to just read off of it.
Right, that's what she did. Okay. Yeah. All right.
I would first make an application at the close of their case for a directed verdict. I don't think that they've made out the allegations, so I make the application at the close of their case.
And close of the case, they just finished the direct examination. You have an opportunity to cross. You're saying that?
No, I am going to, but he said he rested. So I'm happy to cross, but
Which is direct examination. He hasn't rested yet.
I must have misheard.
I don't think I misheard.
I'd like to ask you about the boat. You
What did you say?
I don't think I misheard. I think he said he rested.
testified that your family owned the boat. Is that correct?
My parents specifically.
Okay, and they're the owners of the boat, correct?
Well, they were while they were alive.
Who currently owns the boat?
I think that's a question of law, but it's probably part of the estate.
When you testified, you said your family owns the boat, correct?
Yes.
Is the boat currently registered?
No.
Is it seaworthy?
I don't know that I am able to give that opinion.
Well, do you recall There was a preliminary hearing in this matter on July 31st of 2025,
Yes,
and you recall being testified?
yes,
And you testified under oath, correct?
yes.
Do you recall being asked this, actually giving this statement? And this is on page 5, line 6. And then he walked onto my property, and then he boarded a boat that I own on the property. Do you remember giving that statement?
It sounds familiar.
Now you're saying you don't actually know if you own the boat, right?
Well, the boat would be an asset of the estate. I'm the heir to the estate.
But when you initially testified, you stated you own the boat. Here, you're very careful to say your family owned the boat. So which is it?
Well, again, the boat was an asset of the estate. I'm the heir of the estate. I haven't made any formal action to transfer title of the boat, but I am also the administrator of my parents' estates.
So is it fair to say when you previously testified that you own the boat, that probably isn't true since you haven't actually transferred any title of the boat? Is that fair to say?
But again, I'm the administrator for my parents' estates, so, and I'm the heir. So as a practical matter, it would belong to me.
But it doesn't belong to you.
I'm going to object. This is calling for a legal conclusion.
She testified as to her
I
conclusion.
think it becomes argumentative now. I think she's followed through that. It is semantics regarding, she never voted in an individual name.
I have never in my career, and you know, when I was a younger prosecutor, you know, and as a defense lawyer, we've had tons of theft cases, right? And an element of every theft case is that a complainant owns property. I have never heard a prosecutor object to that or not bring it in. It's a legal conclusion if she owns something. That's a very bizarre objection to me, right?
No, I get it. But what I didn't understand, because I was in the back of this watching this trial live, and what I don't know, if she's an administrator of the estate and she's a recipient of the estate, she manages the estate, she still doesn't own the boat. I mean, am I wrong by drawing that conclusion? How does she own the boat? Unless, to me, you own the boat when there's a title.
She does not look
for the boat.
She does
right?
not. She does not own the boat, and
right.
More importantly, when she said she did, that was not true. And I think now that she's had time to talk to the prosecutor, they went over her testimony. Again, I'm speculating, but it's interesting that under oath the first time around at the hearing, she was very happy to say it was her boat, and now she's being very cautious about whether it was her boat or not.
Right. I mean, I don't think she owns the boat. And the judge, if you hear him, well, let's let him. I think you could hear him, but he's basically like, well, by all practically, she owns the boat. But I don't know. I didn't know that this was like, I thought this was a court of law, not practicality.
She made her statement. She's not argumentative.
You've testified that there are multiple signs, correct?
Yes.
Okay. There's a main sign. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show you your State's Exhibit 2. There is a main sign somewhere towards the front entrance that's on the road, correct?
That's the largest interest.
1 second, Jacob. I'm just looking at some of the side chat really quick, but did she ever like bring documentation that she was in fact the administrator of the estate?
No.
So that was just based off of her testimony that she was the administrator of the state. Because what if she has brothers and sisters? Somebody had said in the side chat here, like that.
Look, she testified that she was the heir.
Right.
There's no paperwork they provided in regards to that. In the discovery, so.
Okay.
That's the sign that we have.
And you'd agree that that sign is completely not visible from the waterway, correct?
Correct.
And you mentioned there are other signs inside the property, correct?
And there's other signs along the roadway and inside the property.
But you'd agree that none of those Mr. Zaleski passed, correct?
They're not depicted in the video. I don't know what he did or did not, the full extent of what he did or did not pass.
Well, you know where they are, right?
I know where other signs are located on the property, yes.
And you saw where he went in the video, correct?
The point I'm trying to make is that based on what's on the video, I know what he passed, but I don't know what he passed outside of the video.
Okay, but based on what it's fair to say your entire knowledge of this case is based on the video, correct?
I don't know if I would characterize it that way, but my entire knowledge of what he did or did not do is based on the video, but I can't say for certain that's all that he did or did not do. I don't know.
Without speculation, from what you were aware, is it fair to say that you did not see him walking in the vicinity of any of those signs? Is that fair to say?
Correct, other than the one that's located on the bulkhead.
Again, I'm referring to the other signs that are on the property, within the property as you testified.
I really hate.
What'd you say?
I hate, juries hate it, is the witness who makes it hard, right? I must have had to ask that question 5 different ways before I found one way where she couldn't weasel out of it with an answer that was not responsive, right? You know, well, I don't know, I didn't see, right? You know, this is not how a person should testify, right? Because she comes across very, very interested in the outcome, which I guess she is as a complainant, but she doesn't necessarily, to me, come across as very credible because she's fighting on things that I never expected her to fight. These were not major points for me. They were points that I expected her just to concede. So I found that very, very frustrating. Especially as a lawyer, I know that most lawyers who testify who've ever done a trial would probably be a little bit more cordial to the opposing party because, frankly, it looks better.
Yeah, I mean, she is a lawyer, and I dealt with it recently with the mayor defamation thing, where it is annoying when, and the judge found it annoying too. He's like, answer the question. Like when you're not just answer the question. The answer is the answer.
Now, the yellow sign that's on the bulkhead, about how far from the actual dock would you say that bulkhead is?
I haven't measured the distance. I would say maybe 40 feet. I don't know for certain.
And that bulkhead is a seawall, correct?
I don't know what you mean by seawall. I consider a bulkhead. It's the end of the property.
It's a middle wall, right? That's right at the border of the property with the river, correct?
There is metal sheet piling there, yes.
And that piling is largely collapsed, correct?
There is a portion of it that is collapsed.
Now, that sign that you said that Mr. Dlisky passed, can you describe the sign in a little bit more detail? For example, what is the relative size of the lettering?
I haven't taken a measure to the lettering. The sign itself is about 2 feet by 3 feet, approximately.
And you said it states no wake and no trespassing, correct?
Correct.
Are both of those written in the same size?
No.
Can you describe the difference?
The no wake is written larger than no trespassing.
And you mentioned that the sign is in black letters, correct?
Black letters on yellow background.
Okay. And those black letters, to your knowledge, are still there?
Yep.
Now, I'd like to show you Defense J.
Something that I really thought was interesting. She's testifying that the sign had black letters, that it was a black letter sign. Now, something that was black, that's no longer black, is not black. Maybe with like the exception of Michael Jackson. She's testifying under oath that the letters are black. And that's really important because if you actually look at that sign, there's no way to interpret that as being an honest answer.
We are going to look at the sign again.
Yeah.
So this is what Kirsten Court-Bowie, the attorney, the complainant in this case, the non-owner of the yacht, she said that this sign, she testified under oath, penalty of perjury, that this sign was black letters. It was a yellow sign with black letters, right? That's what she testified to.
That's right. And you're going to hear more about this.
Right. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you just got to look at the sign. There's really not much I could tell you, but I don't see black letters anywhere. And maybe at one point, I don't know.
I play this portion in regular speed because it really is interesting the way she answers this.
No, I really can't do that. So, well, whatever.
All right.
A screenshot of a still from approximately 4 minutes and 39 seconds. My timestamp is based on a different video that was provided in Discovery, but is that fair to say part of the video?
It appears to be, yes, sir.
And if you could just circle, actually I'd ask that be moved into evidence on consent. If you could just circle the sign with that marker and give me, please.
Keep marking defense.
Defense J.
Defense, you mark J, defense, J picture of the road light, looking at the kayak over to the copy to the left of the owner.
I have a black marker, that's easier. All right, so, and I'll just point out to the court that the witness highlighted circled a small yellow square to the far center left of the image. I'm not going to show you what I've marked as defense D, which I also asked to move in on consent. If you could tell me what that is.
It's a photo of the no trespassing sign.
Okay. And that is the same sign that you testified Mr. Dlisky passed?
Yes.
And that's the sign you testified was yellow with black letters, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like you to look at the words no wake. Are those letters black?
I think it depends on the way that the light is reflecting on the sign. Referring back to your exhibit J, for instance, it's hard to see the sign, but I recognize that when I was trying to take a screenshot, it was hard to get a clear picture of the sign because of the way the video was taken.
So that is a fair and accurate depiction of the same sign, correct?
Yes.
Up close. What color are the letters?
In this particular photo, the letters themselves appear to be more orange than black, but there is still black. Again, it depends on the way that the sun is reflecting on the sign.
When you say there's still black, is there a single letter that is entirely in black on that sign?
There is fading of the black. I agree with that.
So it's fair to say that not a single letter actually has its full blackness, correct?
I would agree with that, but again, it depends on how the sun reflects on the sign.
Well, again, we're talking about the video in question. We can pull up the timestamp to see it on the screen, but we all agreed that, if you agree correct, that defense A more or less accurately depicts the video.
Yes, it does.
Okay. And defense D, and I'd actually like the court to see this, as she's testifying, to understand the black sign that she's referring to, the black letters.
See, if I'm the judge here, I'm like, well, you're just a liar now. Like you are a proven, documented liar, and and when you're being confronted by your lie, you continue to lie. That's what I would say from this.
The angle of the light, the sun. There is no way any amount of sunlight besides pitch blackness will make that sign have anything black on it besides a few little freckles of black that didn't fade off in the 50 years since the sign was put up.
Dude, it's wild. It's when you look at it, it's absolutely insane.
Right now, subsequent to this, you actually installed a sign on the dock, correct?
Subsequent to learning about Mr. Dolitzky's video.
Right, so subsequent to the events depicted in Dolitzky's video, you installed a sign on the actual dock, correct?
I installed many signs.
On the dock?
One on the dock, one on the pier leading to the dock, and multiple signs along the river.
Okay, but on the dock you installed one sign, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and I'm going to show you defense E. Does that fairly accurately depict the sign that you installed?
Yes.
In your opinion as a property owner, are those signs comparable to you? Can you read them equally well, or are there any differences that you've noticed? That has to be moved in as well as an exhibit, the new sign that was installed after the fact.
Just for the record, picture depicts apparently the dock and a sign listed by the property. Consent as defense exhibit E.
And you'd agree that those signs are not very similar to each other, correct?
They're different, yes.
And would you agree that the no wake sign had been there for approximately 30 years?
Yeah.
And never been serviced to your knowledge, correct?
Never been, I'm sorry.
Serviced. Refurbished.
I don't know.
Now, you testified also that there's only one prior incident you knew of somebody entering from the dock, correct?
Improperly, yeah.
Okay. You don't have video cameras anywhere over there, correct?
I do now.
Okay. In the majority of the 30 years or so that you've had this property, up until after this incident, there have not been video cameras in that area, correct?
Not that I can recall.
Well, it's your property. Were they there or not?
Well, I took over ownership of the property after my parents passed away.
Okay, the entire time you've owned the property, were there any cameras there?
Not prior to when Mr. Dolitzky trespassed.
So it's fair to say, and you don't have a guard, you never had a guard there to your knowledge, correct?
No.
It's fair to say you really wouldn't know if anybody entered or not, since you're not there and there's no one actually monitoring the location. Is that fair to say?
Well, I wouldn't say there's nobody monitoring the location. We're on site every day.
But nobody's monitoring the dock, correct?
No, we go down to the dock on a daily basis. My yard manager was there this morning.
Okay, but you testified that, to your knowledge, nobody has ever entered from the dock without permission except for one incident, correct?
Correct.
Okay. But you would agree that that dock is not continuously monitored, correct?
There is a camera now, and again,
Okay, I will restate the question to be very clear.
And I'm going to.
This is the problem that I have with, and she should know better. She is a licensed attorney, whether it's not in criminal law, I believe it's business law, but she went to law school, and I could see why Jacob's frustrated because, like, just answer the question.
And she knows I'm talking about at the
Right.
time of the incident,
Right.
right? So she's playing semantic games, and I'll tell you the truth. Like I said, I think a jury would hate that, and I've tried a lot of cases. Juries hate that because it's like this technical, almost Weasley attempt to obstruct something that really doesn't need to be obstructed, right? You install cameras after the fact. You put up signs after the fact. It didn't exist before. Even if you go there once a day, you don't know what's happening all the time. But she won't admit to that. She can't admit to that, and I don't know why. Right? It's a basic truth, but she has a lot of trouble, in my opinion, having tried this case, with just being plain and just saying what it is.
Right. I mean, continuously means continuously, and obviously she doesn't know what that means to her. I don't know.
Object to it. I don't understand, Your Honor. Where is this going concerning this incident?
Well, she chose to testify about other incidents.
That's information. I'm not going to ask the question.
Again,
So sufficiency of the record. The question is whether or not trespass occurred. What's going on now is not as relevant, but I'll allow you to ask the question because it's cross-examination. I'll give you leeway.
right, and again, they're the ones who elicited the testimony about prior incidents, so I think it's fair game now. They don't. So anyway, so again, the dock itself is not continuously monitored, correct? Or it was not up until you installed the cameras. It was not continuously monitored, correct?
well, again, we would routinely go down and inspect the dock as part of daily rounds.
That's not my question. I'm not asking you if you see it daily. My question is, is it continuously monitored?
Can you elaborate on what you mean by continuously monitored?
In other words, is it possible for somebody to enter the dock while nobody was there, or in the, which one? You said somebody comes down to the dock on a daily basis, correct?
Yeah.
How long are they on that dock or in that area when they come down?
It varies.
Well, can you give me an estimate?
Again, it varies. It can be.
24 hours?
Are you asking whether they're down there for 24 hours?
Correct. Yeah.
No.
So it's fair to say it's not continuously monitored, correct? There's not anyone continuously seeing who comes to the dock or not. Is that fair to say?
Your question is, does somebody monitor 24 hours a day? She said, no.
Okay.
She said she goes there on a daily basis on the rounds. That's it.
Just pay attention to everything the judge is saying and doing. And you can get your feel for the judge, and you could probably make your prediction.
Now, you signed this complaint. You indicated that this incident occurred November 1st, correct?
On or about November 1st.
Okay. Well, how did you come up with that determination?
I looked at a couple features in the video. The first being that we did have a tenant who docked his boat on the dock, and it wasn't in the video. And I contacted him to find out the exact date that he left, which was in August.
Object to that. That's hearsay.
The proof of whatever. No moment.
And then I also observed some trailers that we have moved down to the dock that were depicted in his video. We moved those down there in September. The video itself was posted on November 13th, 2024, so I knew it couldn't be beyond November 13th. And then I looked at the condition of the foliage and the sun and the tides to determine approximately when he was there based on the weather and the tides. When he first kayaked, it was in the afternoon and it was low tide, but the tide was still going out, which I could see based on the condition of the sheet piling still being wet at the bottom, which would indicate that it had been wet and the tide was flowing away. And then you can see at the end of the video, as it's getting closer to sunset, which he talks about in the video, and then the water coming in such that he was able to kayak up the creek to the boat. And using that information, I reviewed the tide table and the weather and determined it had to be around November 1st.
I just want to go back to something I asked you. Up until you saw the video, you had no idea that Mr. Lewis came to your property, correct?
Good.
I said she had a seance to determine the time of the video.
She had a seance.
I mean, I don't want to be like, I don't know.
I mean, no, but she really is
The
being.
amount of effort she put in or claims to put in to figure out the date and time of the video, the tides, the lighting, the sun angle, I feel like that would have been better time spent cleaning up that boat and the ecological damage it is
Right. Possibly causing. I mean, I would assume that yacht has, I don't know, maybe some sort of fuel in it still, or something's decaying into the thing.
I don't know. It's really old, but either way, it's bad.
What date was this trial held again? April?
No, not April.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
I think it's early March, no?
Early March. Okay, I figured it out because I wanted to get the video of me where I asked her questions outside. I have it on my phone somewhere, but where I asked her questions after this. She's not a very nice lady, as you can tell. Look at her face. I mean, she just doesn't look happy. I don't know. She doesn't look like she's a happy camper.
Up until I was informed about the existence of the video.
Okay, but until you knew about the video, you had no idea you were on your property, correct?
Correct.
So, is it fair to say that if he was able to enter the property without anyone seeing him or anything of that nature, and without even knowing about it, that he may not be the only person, correct?
Correct.
Now, you testified on your direct to a bunch of things that Mr. Dlisky said in the video. Did you also hear him say that there are no signs and that he didn't see any signs?
I did.
And that was on the video too, correct?
Yes.
And you also heard him say whose boat is it? But you don't know, correct?
Yes.
Now, the dock itself, is that actually on your property?
All the dock is floating on the South River. I don't own the South River.
Okay, so the dock is not actually on your property, correct?
Horrible way to answer questions. It's a yes or no question, right? And her refusal to answer them, the snarkiness, again, I wish this was a jury trial. I really do.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of not proponent. I'm a big advocate for jury trials for all cases. I understand the logistics of it, but I mean, if you have a chance to go to jail, I want a jury to decide, especially because you don't know, as you're about to tell this judge, you don't know who knows who, what connections they may have, what biases they may have.
The dock is not, but it is my dock and it's attached to the pier, attached to the property.
That's not the question. I'm just clarifying the dock itself is outside your property line, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Something for you. Now, the area around the inlet where the boat is it fair to say that that's largely a marsh area?
Yes.
And it's not developed itself, correct? The area where the inlet is?
Not immediately adjacent to the creek where the boat is located, although at the end of that creek, it is developed.
Mm-hmm.
And to clarify, I don't know that it's all marshy, but it's certainly a woodland. with trees and grasses.
And the boat, is it floating or is it hitting the bottom?
It's my understanding that she rests on the bottom.
And does she have any propulsion?
There's no, I don't know if the propellers are still attached, but there are no working engines in the boat.
Is it fair to say that other than being owned by the estate, it is largely abandoned?
I wouldn't say that it's abandoned. It's in the creek that's within our property.
When's the last time you utilized the boat? In the time that you or your estate owned it?
I don't recall.
So it could have been last week?
It wasn't last week. I don't recall the last time I was on the boat.
In the time that you've owned the property, had you gone on the boat for transportation in the entire time you've owned the property?
The entire time my parents owned the boat, it has not had working engines in it, so it has never been used for transportation.
That's the entire time your parents owned the boat, and you, correct?
Correct.
And there's no electricity on the boat, correct?
Not currently.
Now, there's also significant graffiti on the boat, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Dulitsky didn't do that graffiti, correct?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. You didn't do the graffiti, correct?
No.
So it stands to reason that other people who entered the property did that graffiti, correct?
I don't know that they entered the property or if they entered the boat directly.
Well, isn't the boat on your property?
It's in the creek that's within the property.
So they would, is it possible to get to the boat without entering your property?
Well, your client kayaked up to it.
But the creek is in your property.
Well, the waterway feeds off the South River, so the water itself is not the property, but the land on three sides of the creek is.
So therefore, it's not on her property. I don't. This is the part I didn't understand in the actual trial, Jacob. Is it on her property or not?
The creek is not on her property per her testimony.
Right.
And by the way, I don't know why she calls it a creek. I call it a creek. I'm going with creek just to like keep it consistent, but I don't know. Maybe it's like a regional thing, but I every time I hear it, I kind of want to poke my eardrums out. But anyway,
So it's not on her property.
the boat itself being entirely on this creek would not be on her property then. And it's not really her boat. So.
And it's abandoned.
Yeah, look, I got to tell you.
I wouldn't say it was abandoned. That boat is completely dilapidated. It has nothing. No one's moving it. It's broken. It's graffitied. I've never seen something that looks more abandoned in my life. I mean, I really haven't.
I argued that it wasn't even a boat anymore. It was
like a shell. Yeah,
it was debris in the water.
Right, debris in the water. Right, that's potentially polluting the water. Maybe that's why.
Going back to stage 2, there's no fencing along that line, correct? That leads on the northbound line.
Are you referring to the property line that runs perpendicular to the river on the left side?
Correct.
Yeah, so a portion of that is river tracks, and then a portion of that is through marsh.
But on the right, but there is no fence at that border, correct?
Well, you couldn't install a fence because it's a marsh.
Understood. Is there a fence on the other border, on the other end, on the road to the east?
No, no. Most of that is wooded.
So is it fair to say that other than that one sign on the water, there is no other demarcation of what your property line is or where your property is? Is that fair to say?
I think that the bulkhead and the space behind it that we use indicates that it's the property.
But I'm referring to the large tract of land before you. So the bulkhead and the sign are the same place, correct?
Yes.
Right. Other than that, is there anything demarking your property in that entire large stretch of land along the river?
To the left of the bulkhead, there is a boat ramp, and then it's wooded with trees that my family planted during its ownership. That would lead up to the creek, and then on the other side of the creek is wooded.
So is it your position that the trees your family planted are notice of the demarcation of your property? Is that
well, they're not natural trees that, I mean, they were placed there by human hands.
And you would expect people to just know that? Because remember, the question is there a demarcation of property? You're saying, well, we planted these trees and they're not like native to that area. Is it your position that those trees are sufficient notice?
I didn't say that they're not, quote, native to that area. Well, you can see from the video that when he walks up the ramp onto the pier of the dock that it is developed down there. There's buildings down there, there's trailers, there's a concrete road. So you can see that it is private property.
Again, your property goes well beyond the developed area, correct?
Yes, I mean, it goes back to the roadway.
And it's approximately a 60-acre lot, correct?
About, yeah.
And the developed portion along the water is largely developed by the road. Is that fair to say? Not by the water. The majority of the development is by the road, correct?
I don't agree with that statement.
Okay, well, we'll just let everything speak for itself.
The question is, to get access to your property, there's access from a roadway, is that right?
Correct.
And is there an entrance onto the property?
From the roadway?
Yes.
There's one main gate that's open.
Is it fenced so that the only way to get through that would be to go through a gate?
Yes, Your
Those are
Honor.
the questions I think he's asking.
Yes, there is
That's an answer that I would need also. So is there fencing that's in the front that would stop somebody from coming onto the property without going through the gate?
Yes, Your Honor. On the roadway border, there is fence that runs along from the railroad all the way to the woods, and there is one main gate that's open, and that's the only access from the roadway unless someone were to trespass through the woods to come in.
Okay. My questions have prompted anything from you, sir, you may ask.
So he asked the judge in this case. Again, this is the part that I'm sitting there. If you can see me, I'm sitting in the back right there. But I'm thinking to myself, like, yeah, but he didn't go in through the front. The judge is like, well, there's a gate. Is there a gate in the front? Is there no trespassing signs in the front of the property? Is it developed? Is whatever. But what does that have to do? I wish I could object to the objection, Judge. Relevance. He didn't go through the front of the property. He clearly went through the wooded area.
I did make that objection.
Huh?
I made that objection.
You could object to the judge.
No, I objected earlier. How it's irrelevant.
Right.
When the prosecutor tried that.
Right. No, the judge is bringing it up again in his examination.
It's so irrelevant. And if you understood the size of the property, not only is it really far away, that gate, but you can't actually see it from where he was. So it's really not relevant. And I think that
the judge brings it up again at the end of the video.
I hear that. Yeah, I hear that.
Just, can any of that fence be visible from the waterway?
No, I don't think so.
And other than along the road, is the property fenced on any side? Understanding that one side is water. Is it, of the four sides of the property, other than the road, is it fenced?
No, because again, on one side there's railroad tracks, and then there's marsh that's impassable on foot. On the other side, there's trees, it's wooded, and then along the river, the river itself forms a natural barrier.
I don't have any other questions.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gillespie, where do you live? What state?
I live in New York.
And what county?
Suffolk.
And how long have you lived there?
4 years.
Do you live with anybody?
Yes.
And currently, what do you do for work?
I have a YouTube channel called 2 Feet Outdoors.
And can you describe what the content of that channel is?
Yeah, I have a passion for the outdoors. I like to go kayaking, hiking, backpacking, camping, exploring different areas, pretty much everything outdoors, and I make videos of my trips.
And how many subscribers do you currently have?
Almost 51,000.
Now, prior to living in New York, where did you live?
I lived in Vermont.
And can you just tell me what you did for work around in Vermont?
Yeah, I was in Vermont for approximately 4 years. 2 of those years, I was an asset protection specialist for a large supermarket. And 2 of those 4 years, I worked in the ski industry.
And prior to that, where did you live?
I lived in Florida.
How long did you live in Florida?
25-ish years.
Now, do you have any kind of formal education?
Yes.
And what is
Your
it?
Honor, if I could object, what is the relevance of this?
Just credibility is essential. I have a right to establish my witness's credibility. And I only have a few more questions about his background.
Given the leeway with regard to the relevancy is really very remote because I want to focus us. We're here for whether or not trespass occurred. And so integrity isn't an issue at this point with regard to it. We're just trying to find out whether or not trespass.
Well, the issue.
Given the leeway to do it, but you're not giving me information to help you with this case. So I'll tell you in advance. So get to the point.
Okay, so is it fair to say that you have been
Get to the point, Jacob. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but every court case I've ever been to, when there's a witness, they usually give a little background on the witness. What are their qualifications? What is their history? Their level of education? Where do they live? A little background bio on it. This judge seems to think that that's like not appropriate. And he's like, move on. Like, what are we doing?
Well, the irony is he later uses his background to try to say that he should have known that the sign was there. So, he's testifying. Part of my job is to show that he's credible and he's not lying. And part of that, court credibility is established partly by his character. So for the judge to kind of have a problem with that, when he let her go off on all these tangents, really irked me.
Associates of Criminal Justice from Farmingdale, and then a BA in Criminology from University of Florida.
Yes.
Okay, and after graduating criminology degree, what did you do for work?
Beginning in 1993, I became a police officer.
Where?
Cape Coral Police Department.
And how long were you at Cape Coral Police?
Approximately 4 years.
And then what did you do after that?
I transferred to the Tampa Police Department.
And did you ultimately retire from the Tampa Police Department?
Yes.
All right, now I want to direct your attention to October 30th of 2024. Were you doing your current job at 2 Feet Outdoors that day?
Yes.
And what were you doing that day for your job?
I was planning on kayaking the South River to locate and check out an abandoned boat that was stuck in a creek.
How'd you hear about it?
I saw another YouTube video about it, and it kind of intrigued me, so I wanted to.
Did you know where the boat was specifically?
I had an idea.
At the time, were you aware that it was on anybody's private property?
No.
At the time, did you have a plan for how you were going to get on the boat?
No.
Did you have a plan to dock anywhere at the time?
No.
Now, you gained access to the South River Boat Club, correct?
That's correct.
And when you first got on the water from the South River Boat Club, is the boat to your, I'm sorry, is the boat club on the same side of the water or the opposite side as the boat and her property, the plane's property?
Opposite.
Okay. And when you get to that boat club, did you initially go east or west? Or which direction did you go?
I ended up going left, like northwest.
And is that towards the boat or away from the boat?
Well, I ended up being away from the boat.
And how far did you go?
I went 2 bridges. There's like a railroad bridge and then a larger bridge, and then I realized I was going the wrong direction.
And then is it fair to say you came back?
Yes.
And at that point, is it fair to say you kayaked up to the creek? Actually, one moment. I'm going to ask to put into evidence defense F. It's just a map with pre-marked with locations.
I would say that this is more of a photograph than a map.
Well, it's fair enough. It's an aerial view from a map software of the location, the general property. Is that?
Okay.
And do you recognize this?
Yes.
Can you tell me, is the boat club that you launched from, is that visible on here?
Yes.
And is it numbered?
Yes, number 1.
Okay. Now, the dock in which so initially you went to the creek, correct? After you turned back around, you initially found the boat when you got to the creek, correct?
Correct.
Is that numbered here?
Yes, number 4.
And then afterwards you went to the dock, correct?
Yes.
Is that numbered?
Number 3.
Okay. Now, can you see the boat in there?
Yes.
Is that numbered?
Number 5.
Now, as you were boating on the kayaking on the South River, back and forth, did you notice any signage at all in that area?
I didn't.
Now, at some point, did you go back?
Yes.
And when we say go back, where did you go back to?
I went back to the South River and launched my kayak.
Do you recall roughly when that was?
Yes, that was, I believe, June 6th.
And when you did that, why did you do that?
Because I wanted to take a look at the dock and see if there were any no trespassing signs put up after the fact.
Okay. And have you had an opportunity to view Defense Exhibit E? Well, actually, no. Defense Exhibit
Something else that they did.
E. Yes, E. I'm sorry.
Have you
Have you had a chance to review that exhibit?
No.
Do you recognize the?
Go ahead, Jacob. Sorry, I didn't hear you. Go ahead.
Most judges want pre-marked exhibits. And the trade-off to pre-marked exhibits is that the exhibits may end up out of order, right? Because I may plan for it to go in A, B, C, D, E, and then a trial, just the way it happens, it goes in D, E, whatever. So most judges really appreciate pre-labeled exhibits. And if a judge doesn't say one thing one way or another, which this judge didn't, I will pre-label. What this court did, which I found really infuriating, and it's not improper, it's just kind of inconsiderate, is it would label the exhibits, relabel them into the order. So if Exhibit D came in first, it now became Exhibit A. The problem is that I had them all laid out in my head and on paper in my exhibit list in the letter order that I created. So changing that really, I felt like I've just never seen the judge do that. I mean, it's doable, but I've never seen it happen.
Yes.
And what is that?
I took that photo and of the sign that says private property, no trespassing.
And was that the same date that you initially made your video on October 30th, the 24th?
No, that was the first time I went back.
And did you actually enter the property on that date?
No.
And did you go back again to the waterway?
Yes.
Why was that?
Because you asked me to.
And what was, can you explain why? What was the reason I asked you to go back?
Because there was apparently some other sign along the waterway that was potentially there.
So you went back the second time to look for the new sign, correct? To look for, when you took the picture of that sign, you were looking for signs in general, correct?
Correct.
And in that second instance where you came back, did you see any other sign but the new sign that was put up?
No, I only saw the sign that was on the dock.
Now, when I asked you to go back, did I tell you specifically where to look?
Yes.
And that time, did you see the sign?
Yes.
And did you document that sign?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, is that defense D? We can show it to you.
Yeah, I believe I saw it. And it appeared to be the photo that I took.
And that fairly accurately depicts the sign that you saw?
Yes.
What color were the letters?
Yellow.
And you saw it in person, correct?
Yes.
You saw it from different perspectives, correct?
Yes.
Under any perspective, did the light hit the letters so that they were black?
No.
Under any perspective, the light hit the letters that you believe that it was orange?
No.
And how would you describe the sign in general?
It definitely appeared to be very old and worn and not legible unless you were really close to it.
Now, at some point, you moved the boat off the river and you made some statements about not wanting people to see the boat, the kayak, correct?
Yes,
Can you just explain why you did that?
yes. Anywhere I kayak, I always want to make sure that my kayak is secure, because if somehow it disappeared or got stolen, I'd be stranded.
All right, so let me just bring you back. When you, on the date in question, October 30th, 2024, when you got to the dock, after you went to the creek, what did you do? On October 30th, after you kayaked back to the dock, what did you do?
I took the kayak out of the water, put it on the dock initially, and then walked up the ramp to the land.
Okay. And when you got to the land, can you describe what you immediately saw in front of you?
I saw one trailer from like a tractor trailer off to the left.
No tractor?
No tractor.
And any buildings?
I saw one building to the right, and it was all boarded up.
And further down, did you see a development?
I didn't notice any development.
Can you describe how you went from the dock to the boat when you crossed the first land?
Yes. Immediately, as I went up the ramp and then entered the ramp, and then I immediately made a right-hand turn along the, I guess you call it the tree line, and eventually I came to what looked like a trail, but it was a heavily overgrown trail.
Did you have any idea where the property lines were at that point?
No.
And did anybody come up to you and tell you to leave?
No, I didn't.
In your entire time on the property, did you see any signage that would indicate that you were not allowed to be there?
No.
Did you have to cross through any fences?
No.
And the boat itself, were there any signs on the actual boat indicating that there was no trespassing?
No.
What was your impression of the boat when you saw it? What did you believe it was?
It was, I thought it was an abandoned boat, very poor condition.
I mean, it's very clearly an abandoned boat. I mean, I think everybody in the chat watching, I think everybody watching this after it's live, we're pretty clear that it's an abandoned boat. The sign was not black letters and very faded and worn. Like, these are just clear things that we could see with our own eyes here. That's why I was so frustrated. I mean, if you can see me, I'm like right here in the courtroom, but I was very frustrated. I can't hear you, Jacob. Hold on. Go ahead.
Finally, I did it now. How do you think I felt? I mean,
Right.
you know,
Yeah. And you know, Jacob even had, you're not going to see it in this, but he brought an expert. If you want to talk about that really quickly, Jacob, after this, you had brought an expert, or before this, there was an expert that testified at this case for a trespassing.
Yeah, so George Lurie, really, really good guy. He was been in the Coast Guard Auxiliary forever. He retired. He was like
a former Coast Guard, somebody who served in the Coast Guard.
Very like high up there. I forgot exactly the title off the top of my head, but you know, he had like the gold oak leaf, or silver oak leaf rather. And basically his testimony was just that one, no wake signs are supposed to be put up by the government. They don't have any force and effect if they're private. Two, that there's standardized ways they have to look. This sign did not look standardized. And three, that a kayak doesn't leave a wake. And this is really important because if I'm a kayaker and I'm seeing this, even though I can read the big letters of no wake, I'm going to assume it's a nautical sign, right? So she combined a nautical sign with a land sign and expected anybody to keep reading when nobody would, right? If you're on a vessel that doesn't create a wake, you're not gonna, you know, look at, you're not gonna look at the sign,
Right.
Right? Especially when it's like in tiny little letters, the other part.
And it's faded.
The fact that the sign wasn't legible. My argument was, even if it was, you know, a person might assume that means no trespassing in the water, which she doesn't own. So I thought that, you know, George Lurie was useful in kind of putting context into just how defective that sign was. The judge didn't agree.
Right, he did not agree.
Have you ever been back on the actual property since then?
No. No questions, Your Honor.
I have a few. Mr. Delancey, you received permission to take off from the south of the yard. If you wanted to take a look at this boat, why didn't you ask permission?
I had no idea who owned the boat. I just believed it was an abandoned boat stuck in a creek.
Did you ever go to the front of the premises to see if there's somebody that you could speak to?
No, I had no idea that boat was associated with anything.
Good.
Judge is asking.
What'd you say?
Judges are only really supposed to ask questions to clarify a confusing question. They're not supposed to become a second prosecutor. And a lot of these questions, to me, seem designed to incriminate him. And, you know, they're not neutral questions that happen to elicit an incriminating response. They're questions that are really, really designed to show, you know, to me, they seem that they came with an agenda.
Around that property. It was a 110-foot yacht stuck in a creek.
So you never went around to the front to see whether or not it was a gated community or a gated area?
Correct. That was my first time to Sayreville.
And you tried to avoid being seen by people. Why did you do that?
You know, a lot of times when I'm making a video and I'm recording and walking around with a video camera, you know, I just try to film without being seen. Because some people do kind of react to people with cameras.
I can attest to that. You know, I could have been an expert witness to the mentality of people that when you're recording, whether you're in public or private, I guess, the people's reaction to you recording. I've gotten some pretty bad reactions, as you guys could tell.
Now, as we brought to your attention, you're aware that there's no weight, no trespassing sign was located at that property, correct?
Yes.
You made another comment somewhere along the line. It's very, very clear. How did you make that comment?
Basically, that I was just kind of like wrapping up towards the end of the exploration, if you will. And from that point, I was going to get on the kayak and paddle around to the creek.
My questions are probably questions from the state. And I asked again, questions are probably questions are legally asking them.
Just to clarify, up until the third time that you went to that location, had you ever noticed that sign until the third time I specifically asked you to go there?
No.
Is it, and just to be clear, is it that you noticed it but didn't bother to read it, or that you simply just didn't even notice it?
I've never noticed it.
Nothing else.
Before the case of State versus Matthew Delitzky.
So, Garden State Accountability, his video turned off, and this is the New Brunswick Today's video.
Court charge has one TCB King, S3A, which is a criminal, disorderly persons offense, and there are 3 ordinance violations from the Sayreville ordinance. I find, as a matter of fact, the following. For the testimony from Kristen Ganawi, she is a property owner because she has a company called Viking Marine Terminal. It's a company that she inherited, which owns property, approximately 60 acres of property located here in Sayreville, and apparently it's fronted on Journeyville Road. The property that she speaks of, which she has an ownership of, and which she brought this case on behalf of, is approximately 60 acres of industrial property, which is currently appears to be some salvage or parking or a number of different things with regard to where people put things on there. It is bordered on several different areas. One on one side is South River. On the front of it is a Journeyville Road and is fenced with a gate so that the only access to the property is by a gate. So that entrance would be there only by that means in which you could control access to the property.
So again, he's bringing up the gate in the front of the property that you can't even see from.
More than that, he says it's fenced in, and it's only got a fence on one side, right? You could clearly walk around the fence.
By New York standards, I don't think that would fit the definition of enclosed in a manner to exclude it.
That's not what he was charged with, though. He was charged with defiant trespass, which means that he defied either a direct order to leave or a clearly and conspicuously posted sign. And that's sort of the problem here, is that it's really irrelevant because those signs didn't advise anybody from the dock.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna. This is like 20 minutes, and it's really hard. I didn't realize how bad the audio was.
It's really hard to hear.
Yeah. I didn't realize how bad the audio was. So we'll just wrap it up. Is that he makes the excuses? I'll do a summary. The judge says that there was a gate in the front, that he knew he wasn't supposed to be there. He was trespassing. The judge basically said, well, in the judge's mind, and again, I don't want to speak for a judge, but he can't do anything to me, so I will speak for him. He basically said he went on a private that going on private property is in of itself a trespass. Like when someone, that's basically what he said. This judge right here, Spencer Robbins, he said, the Sayreville Municipal Court judge, he said that if you go on some, he's like, he kind of made it seem, am I wrong, Jacob, about this part? I got the feeling that this judge was like we were all stupid and he was the smart one because this is a simple case of trespass. The woman had private property. He went on the private property and that's trespassing. Like, I feel like he didn't use anything about the sign. Maybe he did. I don't know.
I think you're sort of right? And we've both seen this from judges, right? Where they simplify trespass away from its elements, away from what the law is, and just say, well, the real question is, did he have a right to be there or not? And that's not actually the law, right? Some states have a trespass statute that basically says you can't go on property without permission or it's a offense. Others make it a crime. Others make it only civil. New Jersey specifically, the statute that the criminal statute is convicted under is called defiant trespass, right? That word defiant should give you a clue that there's more to it than just a trespass.
Yeah. And but he's, again, I thought you did a great job representing Matt from 2 Feet Outdoors. I wanted to show.
He's really a great guy.
There just to see myself in person. I probably could have watched it live with I could have watched it like we're just watching it now, but I wanted to see it in person. I wanted to show my support.
I think we all appreciated that you were there, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, some of the police officers that were there appreciated it as well. They were.
It motivated me a little bit. I mean, I was already pretty motivated for Matt, but the fact that you were there kind of told me that you were.
No, it was good to meet his wife. It was good to meet him in person. I never met him in person, so it was good to be there. And I want to show, but he did get a fine.
It was the first for me, by the way, having you there, not as a defendant,
not as a client, right? And this judge basically, I'll wrap it up what he said, and then I want to show you a video. But one last video of me confronting and trying to question Mrs. Kristen Court-Bowie, after the trial was over, as any good journalist would do. He basically said it was private property, which that's true, and he went on the property. Therefore, it's a trespass. It's fenced in. It's enclosed in because there's a fence in the front of the property. There's no trespassing signs in front of the property. He should have went to the front of the property. It was more of a moral. And again, this is my opinion based on what he said. I would show it to you, but the audio is horrible. It was more like a moral position he took. Like, he basically said, like, well, you should have went to the front of the property to try and see if there was some sort of entrance and to try and talk to somebody to get permission. Why didn't you try and get permission for the boat?
And I think it's really important to understand, though, that he had and he testified to this, he had no knowledge of where the property started or ending. And that's the problem with it not being marked. Right. You can go and look, this is one big fenced in area. Let me go to the property owner at the front. None of this is clear.
Right. You could have went to the front and went and been in a totally different area and or maybe there was 2 properties and it happened to end and there was a driveway. It could have been set up in so many different ways to where you're finding the property owner. And again, the judge is like, shame on you. You should have done this. You should have done this. So at the end of the day, you should have done this. You should have done that. You could have done this. This was a trespass. We talk about all these different things and he was like, it's simple. It's a trespass. So again, I don't agree it's that simple. I don't agree that it was a trespass. I'm sure you don't either. So I want to show one video before. So he was found guilty on, I believe, 2 of the 3 charges. I believe something like that. He's found guilty of the trespass, and he has to pay a fine of, I believe it's close to $1,000 or something. It was like $800, $900 or something. So thankfully, no jail time. But I'm going to show you guys. This is the most. You guys probably like this video the most.
I'm Sean Paul Reyes. I'm Sean Paul Reyes. I'm with Long Island Audit. I was wondering if you want to answer some questions. No comment. Why do you feel that? What did you gain from all of this? What did you gain from doing all this? Why don't you stay away from my wife? Don't touch me. What did you gain from doing all this?
You see this?
Yeah, he's breaking the law by bumping into.
Look.
You see this?
What did you gain?
Look, listen, I'm all for protecting your wife, but you can't break the law to do it, right? She's in a public courthouse. It's public. There's police officers everywhere. I'm not a danger to her. She knows who I am. I went to her job as an investigative journalist to ask her questions about this, about the EPA, and is she worried about having to pay, fines for polluting the water, possibly polluting the water. I went to her job, and apparently she was fired from her job because of, I don't know why, but I think it had to do with this whole situation. So honestly, as an activist, as somebody who's, doesn't think she's a very nice person, I'm glad she lost her job. But apparently she lost her job because of this. No comment. She's just a miserable person. And when you meet her in person, if you see, and then her husband in the courthouse pushes me. He pushes me. So now what am I? Should I go and put a statement on him like she did for this YouTuber that just wanted to explore a boat? I mean, an abandoned boat. I mean, look, now he has to pay $1,000 in fine. He had to pay an attorney. It's just so it's such an injustice. Yeah, and then her husband can commit a battery.
I'm Sean Paul Reyes. I'm with Long Island Audit. I was wondering if you want to answer some questions.
Look, there's a law enforcement officer right here.
Comment. Why do you feel that? What did you gain from all of this? What did you gain from doing all this? Stay away from my wife. Don't touch me. What did you gain from doing all this?
Those are crimes, ladies and gentlemen. Those are crimes.
Yeah, he's breaking the law.
Worse crimes than trespassing, possibly trespassing.
Bumping into me. He's breaking the law. Yeah. So what did you gain by doing all this, ma'am? What was the purpose in taking? Why wouldn't you take any deals or anything like that? Come to any sort of resolution?
I've
Why wouldn't you do
seen
that?
similar footage from so many newscasters.
Is there
right? I mean, look at the perspective. Just right. Look at the perspective. Somebody leaving the courthouse and the camera as they're leaving and following them to their vehicle. That's what journalists do.
And her answers are consistent with what you hear. No comment. No, but that's what happens, right? One after the other.
And one thing, just because I know there'll be some bootlickers saying that. Just because I asked her I said, hey, would you like to answer some questions? She says no comment. That's not like some magical word that it's like, oh, well, now I gotta walk away now. Like, no, I'm gonna continue because she might get upset, or she might get emotional, or she might change her mind and say, you know what? I'm going to answer this question, and it might be something newsworthy.
Chose not to do that? The boat, are you in violation? Do you know if you're in violation of any federal law by having an abandoned boat allegedly polluting the waterways? Do you plan on getting the boat out of the water? Do you have
that would be very expensive, I would think.
Sort of knowledge on any sort of pollution that's going on with that boat?
I know, it really left her a headache, honestly. I mean, she left a 110-foot yacht.
Look, I want to be really clear.
And abandoned in a creek. I
want to be clear. If she hadn't done all this, if she had, wanted to settle this with something reasonable, maybe him putting out an advisory video that, look, this is actually on private property, I wouldn't have had a problem with her. Because I do feel bad for her in the sense that she was, through no fault besides her birth, she, ended up being I think from what I understood, the only heir to that property and that estate, which has a lot of issues on it. And one of them is that people come onto that yacht, and they've done it before, and, through different means. But that yacht is something that a lot of people have gone on. And I understand why that's frustrated, because she owns it, kind of, and it's sort of on her property, sort of. And she's afraid of two things, I think, and I am speculating. One is obviously any environmental issues, but two, if somebody goes on that boat and gets hurt, there's no one else to sue but her, whether she got title of the boat or not. So I understand why she's, why she's upset about people going on that property. I don't blame her for that. What I blame her for is taking something, a random guy, nice guy, takes outdoor videos, and he's just trying to do his thing. And she, wasn't worried enough about it to put up real signs or anything like that. And now she wants to put everything on him, and doesn't want to budge on anything. And that's really just, to me, cold and unnecessary. And
he was willing. Matt is a good guy. He was willing to come to some sort of resolution. It wasn't his intention to trespass. Again, my opinion is he didn't
donate a lot of money to charity. An environmental charity. as a way of resolving this. But
Yeah, maybe. Or he could have, he would have chipped in. That $1,000 could have gone to the, $500,000 of her removing that boat from polluting the New Jersey, or allegedly polluting the New Jersey. She's a lawyer, Lawyers like to sue people, so I got to be careful.
Is that why you took this case?
But if she hasn't sued me already, I doubt she's going to do it. I kind of went to her job and all that stuff.
As far as you did?
It's less about what you've done and more about what you say. So I'd still be careful.
Oh, yeah.
Ms. Carbauer, is that why? It was reported that you were allegedly fired from your law firm. Is that true? Were you fired from your law firm? Okay.
That's it. Okay. And then turn the camera off. All right, Jacob. Well, unfortunately, this one wasn't a win. I think it was clear. I think the chat and everybody watching.
Not a win yet. We are we are appealing.
Oh, yes. And they are appealing. They are appealing the case, and hopefully that goes smoothly. But sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes you get a judge that's biased. I believe the judge was biased from the start. Even before the trial started, he made a comment or something that I was like, oh wait, well, that's not a good sign. You could get the feel. There's judges that. And I've had both sides of the judge. I'm Jacob. Listen, I've been doing some little court cases, and Jacob's been a prosecutor and an attorney for 2 decades. So he has a lot more experiences. But in my slight experience of 5 years of going to court, there's judges that will just be outright biased and then justify their. So they make their decision and they try and justify their decision through all these different little twists and turns and this and what if and that and that. And they justify a decision, and there's ones that just look at the law and they're good judges, and they decide the way it's supposed to.
I remember a quote by Antonin Scalia, and I know I got to tell you, I actually think judges on both sides do this, but he said that a living Constitution judge is a very happy judge because he comes home, and his wife says, "How was work today?" And he goes, "It was great. The Constitution said exactly what I wanted it to say or thought it said." Right. But I think you could apply that to anything, right? There are judges who come home and go, how was your trial? Great. The facts are exactly as I wanted them to be, and I'm not going to comment on this judge and how he saw the evidence and how he perceived the evidence because, the case is on appeal. But I will agree with you, Sean, that there are some judges that come in there and they seem to have some sort of an agenda. And you can kind of see it through their questions. They have their mind made up from the minute the trial starts, and then they use the trial in order to get to where they want to be.
Get to where they want to be instead of the trial getting them to where they need to be. Right.
Right. And some of them won't even give you the courtesy of pretending to be impartial. Like, I actually prefer it that way because when they pretend they're impartial, you have hope. And then you're sitting there going, "Oh, I hope I win this one." In some cases, you just sit down and you're like, "All right, I know I'm effed. I know that the client's effed, and we're gonna have to appeal it."
Yeah. She might have won the case, but she still lost. She lost her job. I don't care, and I can't look good as a lawyer. No, it doesn't look good. It's just like I don't get it. That's why I really wanted to ask her those questions. Like, what did you gain from this? She didn't get restitution or anything. The guy got an $800 fine, $900 fine, whatever it was. I don't see now. You're famous on the internet. We just watched your trial. I don't get it. Like, you could have just been like, "Hey man, that's my property. Can you make a video saying that that's private property so in the future nobody else goes on it?" I would appreciate it. I'm sure Matt, 2 Feet Outdoors, would have done that. But it's going to be appealed, and I'm glad he's appealing it. Some people in the chat were like, "Well, why spend more money on an appeal?" Some people just want to get the right verdict. And I've done that before. You just want we appealed Schenectady, right? And you just want to get the right verdict.
Still waiting on that.
Still waiting on the decision for the appeal in Schenectady. But we there's things that we've appealed. There's things that the state has appealed in our cases. So, we'll see what happens. Thanks, Jacob. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you for your insight, as always, is invaluable. I want to do a video. I want to get you to commit. We got to do a video on Afro Man. That was like, I'll put some clips together and we'll do a nice little short video on Afro Man. Have you seen that?
No,
Okay, good.
I don't follow cases that aren't mine.
Okay, good. So the Afro Man case, it's. I want you to not look into it. Okay, don't look into it. We're gonna go. We're gonna go into it cold. You're gonna go into it cold. I think it's one of the.
I don't even like to look into my own cases. You know, I think it is documents, kind of wing it.
I think it is the best First Amendment case I've ever seen in my lifetime, and I believe it should be taught in history classes going forward. It is that good. I think it was great. Mama's lemon pound cake. Just know that. All right. It's very good. It tastes so nice.
Make me hungry. I wonder for what.
All right, Jacob. See you good eats, brother. Bye. All right, guys. So yeah, I want to do a video on Afro Man. Mama's lemon pound cake tastes so nice. If you haven't seen it, look into it. But I'll do a video. I want to do a video reacting to some clips and stuff like that because it was that funny. But let me know what you think about. Remember, Resist Tyranny T-shirts. All of the T-shirts, all of my merch, We the People hats, everything is 50% off only for 48 hours. So if you're a true supporter and you've been watching this live stream, you know that. If you don't, then you missed out and you probably miss out. But I appreciate you guys' support. Thank you so much. As always, let me know what you think about this one in the comment section below. Stay safe. God bless. I'll see you in the next one. Long Island Audit. Peace.